What's up, guys? Of course, like always, I'm running late. How's everybody doing? Let me try to light this up a little more. Kind of still dark in here. Um, see if this will work. Oh, shoot. That's gotta be better. Alright, let me move you guys over here. Oh, he's outside. Check this out. Monster has a new collar. I have a big kind of announcement too, but you guys, hopefully he's got it on. I just heard him outside. Let's see if we can catch him. You glowing? Hey, Monty. What's up? That's pretty sick, man. I like it. You look cool. Right on. Alright. Bye. You want to come in? Come on. Alright, I gotta talk to everybody now. Cooler than the other side of the pillow, ain't you, buddy? Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty cool. We just let all that warm air that we built up in here, we let it all out. You gonna stay in here or are you going out? Good. Everything a good sniff? Bye, buddy. Alright. Now that we end up buying that damn collar, I look at it and I'm like, I could have just got, ooh, that's too bright. I could have just got some glow sticks and made that collar out of some glow sticks, but that one, like, we can hit the button and it'll change colors the whole time. Pretty funny. As you can see, him pretty good outside. Okay. So what is going on with everybody? How is everybody? Let's see who's here. What's up? Rob Bob's here, Ground Pounder's here, Billy's here, JC, Dan. What's up, guys? We got the other Billy here. Peter's here. BR, JC. Cool. How is everybody? Monkey Man. Right on. Did you, okay, if you guys didn't get a chance to see it, I put a link to one of Monkey Man's videos in the community page. He's come up with some attachments for the air gun that are really cool. So anybody who has a problem with the air gun being too big, you can make it compact, you can break it down real quick, and it just looks awesome. So check that video out and maybe check his channel out. I thought it was a good video. I thought it was pretty cool, and figured maybe some of you would enjoy it too. I get a lot of questions about throw ball stuff and setting ropes and stuff. So, anyway, what's up, brother? What's the topic for tonight? Well, tonight we are gonna. What I'll do is I will wait a little bit. to... Actually, no, I'll just do it right off the bat. Okay, Gap Arborist Supply is... They sent me that package, and we had, you know, the climb line. I got to use that climb line. I love the climb line so far. It is so perfect for the zigzag. So, really stoked with it. I was able to use the zigzag and the wrench, SRT. I had a little bit of slipping, but I usually do with that when it's a new rope. And I feel like I need to add more action to my wrench. So I'll kind of mess with that and adjust that out. But it's like a fine line too much. So that was really cool. But they have an offer for all you guys. This is the way this is going to work. So those who watch the live videos will kind of have the upper hand here, because I'll mainly be doing all the discussing and talking about this on the live videos. So this is what it is. Let me make sure. Okay. This is what we got going on. They have... Okay, I asked them, I said, I need a discount code for everybody, so that when they order something, you know, maybe I can get you some people to come order stuff. He says, okay, we'll get you guys a discount code. So he was working on that. Then he got a hold of me. He let me know. He's like, I have a better idea. So instead of giving you a one-time discount code that will, you know, if you're not ordering at that exact time, maybe it doesn't even work. So what he's going to do instead is give you 1 year, the entire year, all you can order, you know, 15% off for a year. You just have to go start an account with them. Now, anybody who has an account with them already can notify him, and he will add that on and switch you over or whatever he's got to do. So because you know, that way it's kind of fair. So if you've already ordered from them, you have an account with them, you're still eligible for all this, and you can have all this. But for those who order gear and get gear all the time, this is crazy to think. I mean, 15% off everything for the full year. And there's really nothing you got to do to get it. What he's going to do is you start an account, and he's going to start and give you the commercial account price. So he'll set you up with a commercial account, which will give you 15% off for the entire year. After the year it's over with, there will be details on how exactly we'll do that, and like, it's only going to be available for like a short period of time. It'll be a couple hours. If you sign up within those few hours or so, or whenever it is, you get it then. So I'm sure if you miss out, maybe we'll have some discount codes, but this is like, definitely jump on this. This is a really good deal. I don't know anybody else, like other companies, that would do something like this. So for an entire year, 15% off, and I'll let you know the details, like when exactly that'll be going on. So that I just want you guys to be able to take advantage of it. You guys are just always, you keep up with everything, you watch everything, you deserve to benefit anything like that comes from the channel. I definitely want you guys to get, you know, first grabs onto it, because the support, just in general, just for the support. So, and I'll work up some other stuff too. I'm sure we'll do some cool stuff to where maybe I'll do some giveaways or something on the live feeds. Yeah, but we'll work on that. But yeah, I'll let you guys know for sure when that's going to happen, what day, what time, and we'll make sure that you guys are definitely informed about it. And then I'll throw out some shooters other places. But yeah, that's the big thing that I was really stoked on. Yeah, I don't know exact day or anything or time when we'll do it, but yeah, I know a lot of you guys that, if you're anything like me, I order tons of gear. I love gear. Whether I need it or not, I'll switch stuff out. And, you know, there's no sense in, you know, if you're anything like me, I'd be the guy that would say, nah, I'm good, you know, and not get it and not sign up, and then the next day I'll cut my climb line and need a climb line, and that 15% would have, like, it would have helped out so much right from the get go. So yeah, that's just something for you guys. That's something that I'm glad that he was able, you know, he gifted me some tools and stuff, the rings, the rope, the lanyard. But like, I know you guys get to see the content and you get to watch and see it used and stuff like that. But this was I like this even like this was really cool to me. It's just basically his way of giving a gift to you guys. So yeah, stoked for that, and I hope a lot of you guys get the benefit from it. So buy stuff, Dan. Cool. Keep us posted. I'm sure we all love saving money. Yeah, stuff costs so much nowadays. I mean, if the discount makes it worthwhile to take your time, run over, and make an account. That's all you have to do, because like the prices of things is just it's mind blowing anymore. So and I like being able to keep up with stuff and keep your equipment up to date and like in quality and to like standards and like technology. So you know it's hard to go buy a brand new saddle and stuff because they're so expensive, but you knock 15% off, that gets pretty nice every time. So I was having trouble getting my wrench to engage while using it with my zigzag. Is there any way to discuss this with you, or do a video on different ways to help get it to friction better? Okay. A lot of times, okay, here's the way that I would kind of say is if you engage the wrench on the rope and it engages fully, and the wrench is like actually it's like bent like this as you're tending up, you know, and then it engages all the way, and it's at that cockeyed point, the wrench coming out, the wrench tether coming down. If you're fully extended and it's still slipping, there's an issue there. So I'm sure there's going to be certain ropes that are just with a wrench it just doesn't work. But if it's a newer rope, understand that like those ropes are so stiff at the time, it does take them a while to break in and start to get malleable. So the more it starts to get to where it bends, that flex that the wrench puts into it and that the zigzag starts to do, it starts grabbing more then. You know, and you know, new ropes are kind of almost like slick, pretty much. So if it's a brand new rope, some time with it, you may even, a good way to break a rope in real quick is if you get a chance, throw it up over a natural crotch and zip down out of it, pull it back out of it, run it through a natural crotch real good over the bark and stuff like that. That'll break a rope in pretty quick. But yeah, that's probably, you know, if you're fully extended, the wrench is completely engaged and it's still slipping a little bit, there's an issue there. It could be that the rope's just so new that it's a little slick at the time and it will break itself in. But yeah, I know that can be an issue. I noticed that mine did it, but like I've had that same issue, and the more I used the rope, it broke itself in. So but I find myself like enjoying actual DRT with the zigzag. I don't like DRT at all. I mean, if I'm up in the tree and I'm going to be changing tie-in points, maybe it's kind of okay sometimes. Usually I just run a redirect, throw it up over the natural crotch, come back down. But you know, I've been enjoying like messing around with you know, the DRT and stuff, and I've liked that a lot. That's been really cool. Rob Bob, cool, right on, man. Well, I will definitely, you guys will be the first ones to find out, and will be the first ones to know, and I will definitely do like a special live feed for when that starts, and when that like You know, when we start our live feed, it'll probably be when it starts. Or, actually, we'll do a live feed. This is what we'll do. We'll go ahead and plan it now. I will do a live feed, a notification live feed that will come up. We'll do our normal thing. I may have something planned for it, specific, but we'll do that, and I'll announce at the beginning when this live feed's over, and when we end this live feed, that's when it starts, and it will end at this point. So I'll work that out with him, and then we'll go. I'll let you guys know. So I think that's probably the best way to work it out. I got a problem in the 15%. Yeah, I know. I got a kick out of Ground Pounder's post. He was doing the gear addicts. And I'm like, man, that's so true. Like, I go through my spells where I go buy gear, and then, to keep myself from wanting to buy more gear, that's when I start modifying my gear and messing with gear and, like, trying to use gear, stuff like that. So I'll catch up later. Keep jamming. Oh, I didn't even know Dan the Tree Man was here. Dan, right on, man. Yeah, and hey, Dan, if you're still here, and even if you watch this later, I notice, like, just so everyone who runs a YouTube channel understands, January is the worst month for YouTube. Don't know why. The viewership goes way, way, way down. I have no idea what it is, why it is like that. Like, my stuff has been getting no views. Like, it's aggravating as hell. I feel like some of the stuff I've put out has been really, really good. So, don't get frustrated. Enjoy making it. You know, and maybe don't put it out as consistent. And just enjoy making it. That way you're not frustrated, because Dan puts out really good content, makes really good videos, and I feel like they don't get the shine that they deserve. But I mean, I feel that same way with a lot of people who have YouTube channels. Like Ground Pounder puts out some really good stuff. His last video, I think it was Shaking Like a Leaf. That the rigging and stuff that was going on, that's top notch stuff. So yeah, it's a bummer sometimes, but YouTube is that's just what it is. John, what's up, buddy? Okay, so so we can keep topic kind of or something rolling along as far as conversation. Did you guys pay attention to the thumbnail that was for this video? Yeah, Rob Bob, maybe climb on it a couple times DRT to break the rope in a little more, and then make sure that your wrench is able to engage all the way. If the wrench is somehow stopping from being fully engaged, that may be an issue. Like, that's the thing. It needs to the more it engages that wrench, the heavier the bend will be that gets placed into the rope. So if that's not, totally engaging, it will cause slipping because doesn't have a heavy enough bend and it's able to travel through it. So just mess with it, and let me know what happens. So rope diameter will play a part in it also. Yeah. I mean, if it's too small of a rope, it's too small of a rope, but a lot of times they'll tell you a rope is a certain length. You'll go to use it on a device that it should work on, and you'll see a little bit of slippage. That's a brand new rope. They're slick a lot of times. They're just like it. I've seen it. I've had it happen, and it does a lot of times after a rope starts to break in. It does work 10 times better. So, Michael Hoffitz. Oh, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see everybody. 11.7 all gear cherry bomb. Right on. Yeah, that's what the new rope that I'm climbing on now. That's actually what is sitting right there too. But the new rope is Poison Moon. is what it's called. 11.7 climb line, 150 foot with spliced tie. So I like an 11.7. My wrench zigzag setup, I did have a little bit of slippage when, like I said, when I was climbing, but there's gonna be some slipping going on until full. If the wrench doesn't get to fully engage, sometimes, like especially with a new rope, tell me if it does this, Rob. Does it engage, slips for a second, but stops? Because a lot of times with a new rope, with it being slick, being still so stiff, not getting to where it's malleable enough yet, those all gear ropes are really stiff when you get them. Mine would do that, and like they're really slick, like I said too. So maybe mess with it a little bit and let's see what it does. I like getting a laugh out of everyone. Gonna have fun with it. Hell yeah. Sounds like a plan. See you guys soon. Oh, we got Tree Veteran Born Again. I'm guilty of gear thing, but tools are the only thing I buy besides food and clothes. Tools, gears makes a living, whether good I need it and worry about my... Yep. I mean, my wife she's really quick to justify me buying myself gear and tools and stuff. So, if it was for anything crazy, she definitely wouldn't. She'd probably be a little pissed when she sees all the stuff, but she knows it keeps me safe, so. Okay, yeah, the thumbnail was about the ring positioning and how the last video was using that ring in that configuration. That diagram was given to me by Giorgio Fiore. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and we've talked before. Like I said, I don't do Facebook really, and I just started kind of poking back on there every once in a while. And so I talked to him, and he sent me that to, like, apparently when you buy a Fiore ring, that's a regular practice. Like, he says you can use this ring in this way. Now, I've never used a Fiore ring myself, but I know that the B string that I use, I notice in his pictures, he'll show the ring and then it's attached with a sling that has an eye sewn into it almost. And the ring's in the middle. And it's kind of loose. Well, the main thing from what I'm reading on that diagram and stuff, like, it says that configuration can only be used in positive rigging situations, which are rigging objects that are below that rigging point. So negative rigging, you're rigging up above, and it has to drop a negative amount of distance before it ever falls into the system, which creates shock load and all the other stuff. So when he's showing on that it shouldn't, like, basically said, like, don't use it in negative rigging because it'll get pinched and it could get, like, jammed up between the ring and the sling. But for me, I'd already made the video. I'd already done it. I had already done the test. So, I mean, I couldn't, like, I told him, I'm like, hey, yo, I already did it. Like, it's done already. I negative rigged the log down in chunks. And I didn't have a problem. It actually worked really, really good for me. So, the only difference I could see with some of his diagrams and maybe the way he uses it is that when he's attaching the ring is on there and there's like a sling that has a little bit of play, like negative space here, like but open spacing. Now, when I girth hitched it on, it made for only like a little hole about like this that the rope could even go through, because the girth hitch goes around it and it bites down onto the ring real hard. So the chance of the rope getting over the lip and getting on, it can't happen because the girth hitch is attaching so tight. It forces the rope to fall into the channel of the ring, and it can't position itself outside of that channel because the rope diameter is pretty big and there's a pretty good lip on them rings, but then the girth hitch going around it keeps that from ever happening. It forces the rope to go straight down into the ring and then down into it. He points out in the diagram that you can even start to get with his setup, you start to get the pulley effect where the ring will start to move like a pulley would. Now, that wouldn't happen with the girth hitch the way I used it because the girth hitch is so tight. Like, if you may get a little movement, but it's not going to sit there and spin like a pulley would. So, I messaged him, I let him know, I'm like, hey, I already did it. It worked really good. I didn't run into any issues, but granted, I did it one time. He's done so many tests on this and used this so much, and like, he did the work. He's put the time in. And if he says that's something to look out for, then I would say the video that's about to come out, don't do this. So the next video, don't do this. Maybe it changes down the road, and maybe after, like, I explained to him why I feel like mine may have worked in some scenarios where his didn't, and maybe he messes with that and comes back and lets me know, hey, that worked, this or that. So we just kind of have to see what happens with that. But the only thing that I seen that could, actually no, it couldn't even do that though. Like, I was trying to think of a scenario how that could have went wrong. It could have got pinched up and into a bind, and it couldn't have. I don't know if you set it up wrong. Yeah, there could be a twist in the rope and it would go rope across rope at some point and never even get to the ring. But I don't think that's possible because gravity is going to force it down to the ring, which is the lowest point. I don't know. I know that he specifically sent me the diagrams to check this out, and be careful. So the next video that comes out, don't do this. Maybe I shouldn't even like put it out there as like I'm gonna put it out anyway. I did it and it worked. And my intent with the next video was to talk about how much I like this and how good it worked. And to hear from a guy like that, who I know is as smart as they come in these situations, makes me second guess the way I was going to go about the video. So I think I'm going to have to kind of re-edit some stuff, because I don't want to turn it into like me glorifying a technique that could be dangerous. So I may have to mess with that a little bit, but yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to explain with the next video, what's going to happen. And like, also, I've been warned that what I did is probably maybe not safe, maybe not the smartest. Just because nothing happened to me in the process doesn't mean that it was the right decision. Let's just kind of leave it like that. And I'm going to put the video out, and I'm probably going to use the technique more, and I'm going to produce more data as far as that goes with this to see if maybe it does work. But yeah, I mean, when you have a guy like that say, hey, yo, watch out, like, chill. So that makes me second guess it and wonder, is there some situations I can put it to make something go wrong so I could test that? We'll see. Hasty Tango Ivy, it's on. I was told ecstatic is the way to go for it. I'm a DRT guy all the way on my hitch climb. Yeah, I've like felt myself here recently wanting to switch back to just a wrench and a prusik. So my pleasure, Dan. I like to change. Also got Our obsession. Sleek tethers, real short. I want to try it out. Dang, right on. That's cool. Jared, like calling Billy names. That's funny. Can you name 3 tools that was a game changer for you and why? I like that, Bill. Bill Callahan. Hmm. Yes, I guess I can. I would say let's go like this. As far as aspects of trees, there is your rigging, there's the climbing aspect, then there's the felling aspect. So I'll give you one from each. Um, when it comes to climbing, I would say the thing that changed my style and the way I did things more than anything would have been the introduction of the hitch climber and going to the moving rope system, the ability to tend slack with one hand, to have new connection points for additional anchors, learning them knots and like making everything so compact and like seeing the movement and like how like it jumped me when I moved to the hitch climber. It wasn't long after using the hitch climber and messing around with it that I was on my way to SRT because I had done so much time with the taut line hitch and like there was nothing else I could really do with it. And then I found out like all these mechanical aspects, like the pulley compressing the knot, lifting it up. I think a lot of people look at the pulley as more of an like it serves more of a purpose than it actually does in a climbing system. The pulley's only there to give a mechanical advantage when you go to pull up, to press it and make it easy to ascend. So yeah, I would say the hitch climber. I would say rigging rings and learning false crotches. That made everything that blew my mind. Like, okay, it's on now. Like, I can make a rigging point anywhere I want. And the maze dam rope puller. I've taken trees that are completely like this over houses and brought them all the way back and over with the maze dam. I've seen the maze dam do some incredible things, and it's not like all 3 of them things are cost efficient things that will change your career immensely. So that would be my 3, just right off the top of my head. But that's something that it would take some time to sit and think about to be 100% for sure. I really want to know if all gear rope is splice friendly. Um, I don't know, man. I mean, you're as far Peter, you're asking like if someone else could splice it. I imagine it probably is, but they do such a good sonai as it is. Like I just go with their sonai. They've always done pretty good, but they are getting very simple now, and they used to have all the plastic coatings and stuff that would keep moisture from getting like in there and like little things from catching the stitching and but they really dumbed their system down quite a bit here recently from what I'm seeing. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. I was really impressed with the climb line that Gap Arborist Supply sent me. Really liking it. So, they may have completely changed my mind and, like, all gear, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Like my 11.7 Cherry Bomb rope? Right on. Damn, we got 16 thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Oh, hey, Dan. Do it at the same time, Dan. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No, we did a high five. Let's see. Peter, yes, it is. Game of Trees sells them. Yeah, I think he's more talking about, like, can you splice one? Because they do sell ropes. I know I've bought my brother um, a rope that he does taut line. He doesn't use all the micropoise and stuff like that. He just uses the taut line hitch, and that's what he had me get him. So, Game of Trees is really straight up, man. In my book, hey, he seems all right to me. Seems like a guy that, you know, has a lot of experience in tree work, a lot. Um, but this is what's funny about like YouTube, because like you can get credited for coming up with a lot of things that you didn't when it comes to like tree work or anything. It just depends on like, did the other guy who you got it from get viewed? Like, because I've seen some stuff that just gets regurgitated and people are like, I've never seen this. This is so amazing, and like they trip out. So I don't know, like YouTube's a wild one. Like it's hard because so many guys, I feel like they spend so much time putting out content and like trying to come up with these great. I'm sure Game of Trees has tons of this, where he spends so much time like coming up with ideas, and like his idea will may get regurgitated somewhere else, and just because the platform's bigger there, they get credited for it, and it's kind of a wicked game. I mean, unless you want to just always try to give credit as you go, like I'm sure I could definitely have took credit for a lot of things that I shouldn't, you know. So like I try my best to be like, yeah, hey, like I know this and I have this technique, or I learned this and I got this, but the reason I know this or I got this is because of this guy. So yeah, don't forget to like maybe shout the guy out that helped you and got you there always. You know, because I'm sure, who knows, one of you guys in this comment section may start a channel and it may blow up. There's no rhyme or reason for like what blows up and what doesn't. So like definitely, if you're thinking about starting a channel, start it. Don't be like, well, it's oversaturated now. Like it's always gonna be like that. Some people are gonna try it, they're gonna give it a little bit of time, and they're gonna give up. Others are gonna want to do it, and like just it's, if you're thinking about it, do it, because you can better yourself as a climber a lot by paying attention and like looking at your stuff afterwards. I feel like I corrected a lot of my silly mistakes and stupid things that I did over my time of putting out YouTube videos, like, and even some of them negative comments and them negative trolls that get on there and they're poking and they're just hitting you hard, which is, you did this wrong and this, you don't know what you're doing. I'm sure I've had some of them that have even probably helped me, that I realized, oh, I did that wrong. They were right, even though they said I should like kill over because of it. You know, maybe they worded it wrong, but they were right. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me though. Wish I knew about him when I was young, 15 years ago. Grew up. Both of them. Really? I wish I came up in the game when I was. That would have been. Oh, hey, that would have been fun. Unlimited imagination as long as. Yeah. I bet you I'm way behind on. William, what's up, buddy? I'm gonna try to jump ahead a little bit on some of these comments so I can catch back up. I will. I'll try to read them as I go, though. I was curious about the ring rolling. Yeah, Dan, it doesn't roll at all. With the one that I was using, I think it's because of the girth hitch with that loopy sling. With the ring and a choker like you have it, I didn't think it would roll. I didn't really think I'd have an issue with it, but it was something that because all the friction being added inside the ring and that channel, there's potential for it to roll. But it needed to get a running start, and I would have like that's what was nice. I was able to rig chunks, and I'm like eye level with it as I start to go down, and I was able to really get a good close look at it. So I've tried SRT, and it's just not for me. Maybe, but give it some time. Like I said the same thing. I only go DRT just to mess around. SRT is where it's at. It's 10 times easier on my body, and like it's easier. It's just easier. It is hard to learn any new technique or learn a new way. That's very hard. I'm not saying that. But the time invested and spent, you will appreciate, and it will definitely pay itself back in the long run. That is my personal opinion when it comes to climbers learning SRT. It it's just it's the only way to go in some situations. Like I don't know. I've never heard a guy who said, I finally spent the time, I know SRT, I learned it, I got it, and I'm good at it, but I hate it, and I'm going to go back to DRT. I've never heard of that. So if that guy's out there, please leave a comment, let me know, tell me, and I want to see you where you were efficient and schooled in SRT to where you were pretty good at it, and I want to see you give that up to go back to pulling twice as much rope and moving twice as slow. So, James, what's up, buddy? Yeah, Maze Dam works great, especially when you can't get a truck there. I don't do the vehicles. I don't hook vehicles, machinery. I don't do that. I don't hook them to trees. There's just I've seen too many mishaps. And the reason I personally use the Maze Dam and think the Maze Dam is the best is because it is slow. Well, it's not even that it's slow. It is a gradual, very consistent pull being put on the tree that you don't get with a vehicle. Like a vehicle, if you have perfect communication, it's like, and you have your ear sets, like I could see that happening, but I've seen too many times where a vehicle will break traction and something goes wrong. I've also seen where the guy in the vehicle is pulling before he's supposed to be pulling and he breaks the rope. Or out of fear you leave too much hinge and that vehicle just hammers and snaps the anchor out of it and pulleys go flying. Like it's not, I'm not saying it's you should never do it, but if I have a choice, I'm just not ever doing that. I just try to never do it. I don't have a good feeling when I do it either. Like I am so confident and content when I'm using the Maze Dam. I know what it's gonna do and it does the job every time. So I've built a trust in that piece of that tool. So hold over big hickory and cedar. Yes, oh, right on. Any TCI certificate? I started testing. Recommended? Any TCIA certificate? No. No, I was like this close to go ahead and going through with all of it. And I just don't feel like this is not where I think I'm at in my career. I do think it's something I may jump back into at some point. I wanted the education and the information and not so much the certificate. So the fact that I had to continuously seek out classes and get points and invest money yearly, and the sum of money was that doesn't seem like, it seems silly to me. It does. So I lost interest, but I see where later on in my career when I'm not able to do some of the more manual aspects of this, to where that would be more important to show the knowledge. But like, I used everything from that to, like, I keep all that information with me, like, and I'm always checking back on it and doubling over it and stuff like that. So I recommend seeking out that information, absorbing that information, learning from it, keeping up to those standards that they have. But I don't so much agree with the way that the certification is gotten and upheld, if that makes any sense. Oh, a small tree off a house with my maze in. Yeah, I've yanked stumps out of the ground with it. Yeah, yeah, being able to climb off a uh, a pulley is really nice from DRT. Like, there's a world of difference from that rubbing so much. Sorry, that was direct TV, and I could strangle them people sometimes. They call me back to back. Stupid. Yeah, I'm not a fan of them. That guy had me for DirecTV. They call and they're like, "Yeah, we got this special deal for you." And I watch UFC. I keep up with all, you know, mixed martial arts. I watch all the UFC events and I keep up with next time it rings, I'm gonna answer it and I'm gonna scream at him, and then it should come back on for you guys. I hope, but yeah, they lied to me. They said, "Hey, we got this free whatever Showtime and HBO and all this stuff." And at the time, Bellator had just switched over to Showtime, so I was like, "Okay, I'll take Showtime." I took it, and they said it won't be any charge. We'll let you know when it'll run out. And what they did is they left it on, and they started charging me. And before I knew it, I'd paid months and months and months of it. I don't ever watch it, and I'm like, "Dude, you told me I was gonna cancel." "Yeah, well, I don't know what happened." I'm like, "Okay." So then the next time they call me, they said, "We got the same deal. It's we're gonna put it onto your package right now." I'm like, "No, I don't put that on there. I don't want anything I don't pay for it." "No, it's for free." I said, "I don't want nothing I don't pay for." "Well, no, it's gonna be on there anyway, and like, so you don't have to do nothing, and you're not gonna be charged anything." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't want it. I told you I don't want it. I don't want the responsibility of having to make sure I gotta cancel it a certain day and this thing because you lied to me last time." "Okay, no, 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 sir. It's gonna be on there regardless, and it will just cancel itself when it's done, the month or 2 months or whatever." A couple months later, like, let's say 6 months later, I start to see my bill. It's twice as much. I am now being charged for those channels that he put on for free, and he calls me again to try to get me to take this again, and I flipped out on him on the phone. I was like, "Dude, this is like, all of you are liars. This is what you need to know. If you have the girl call me, if you call me, or your mother calls me, anyone calling me from DirecTV is a liar. I will continue to make my payment. Leave my TV alone. Don't put no extra channels on it, and stop calling me." Literally the next day they called me. I'm like, "I can't do it." He's like, "Oh no, if someone lied to you, all these are on recording and we will give you your money back." I'm like, "I don't want nothing back. I just don't want you to call me no more. Leave me alone." Your straight constraint 200 foot on the maze dam, the portal rep. Hand center works great. Got hand center ideal for Mike. Yeah, it works really good on the maze dam, the hand ascender, because you will get it to slip, especially if you're not using that 3-strand. I haven't had a lot of experience. I've never used 3-strand in it, but that's what it's designed for, so I imagine it works a lot better than the stuff I use. Most of that topic is for guys getting views, that's okay. We're all learning all the time, TCIA. Are they worth it? 2 in the chat and 5 is still learning SRT. Gotta exit out. Look at camera. 20 up. Also, most homeowners don't care about ads. Yeah, I know. Alright, I'm gonna jump. I'm way behind on comments, so I'm gonna go all the way, and then I'm gonna go back a few. And so if I skipped yours, BTS, what's up, buddy? Yeah, that's what I've heard from most guys. Scott Tam, how are you, man? I've heard that from guys who have the certification. Like after they got it, they've never been asked about it. It's never really been a helping thing for them, and it's more of a headache to keep up. So the zigzag is a great device in my opinion. If you haven't used mechanicals, as well as if you do crane work a lot, I like it. Very, very nice. You're right, Scott. It's a really nice device. Has one downfall, and that's the fact that it's not Medline attachable and has to be loaded from the bottom of the line up, especially if you have a Sonai. You don't have the option of loading it from either direction. So, yeah, that would be the downfall in my opinion of it. But, yeah, great device. Zigzag is awesome if you stick to moving rope. You will lose your shoulders in 10-year monkey. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing that, like, days when I do DRT and I don't use, like, pulling myself up as I work, like, I've messed my shoulders up and I feel it on them days where I should just keep a spike ascender or foot ascender on and climb the rope as opposed to being stretched out with your arms and you're reaching to put your hand into a crotch or hold on to a limb and hold all your weight. And it don't take long before your shoulders start to give out and they start getting very sore and you no longer can scratch your back, your own back, and it's like, it's definitely not nice on the body, I'll tell you that. You have to pay money to keep it. I use the RT, but use SRT for some a lot. Yeah, I mean, just being able to get up into the tree in SRT, it's, yeah, I mean, if you was to you do the same thing DRT, you're gonna have to move twice as much rope to get up there. So why not SRT? Whether you're only using it to ask to access the canopy, then you're climbing around and descending DRT. The effectiveness of getting up there, that's why so many guys go SRT up. They're more comfortable with DRT climbing around the canopy and retrieving the ropes and stuff like that. But SRT up because they're moving half the rope that you're moving. They're moving twice as fast as you're moving. It's just easy. Ground powder. I think Dan was talking about maybe there's certification. You have to continue. You have to get a certain amount of points. It's like a doctor who has to keep his license up. You do have to get points every year, and if you don't get a certain amount of points, then you get your certification taken away. That's the problem I see with it. And to get these points, you have to seek out classes, and you may have to drive 10 hours to go to a class. I don't even know, but I think some of the classes probably cost money, and it's rough. Like, you're trying to keep up your knowledge and just do trees right, and it costs you a lot of money to be given information that it should be privy to anybody so that they can do better work. But I mean, it is what it is. Got rid of DirecTV years ago. Kept going up. Yeah, it's like they just called me 3 times in a row, and they left a voicemail. So like they're out of their damn mind. What time is it? It's like it's nighttime. What are you doing? Like, and I felt so bad when I talked to him on the phone. I was like, dude, you're the guy I talked to last time, and he's like, and I was like, and if it's not, you're not the guy. He sounded a whole lot like you. Like, I'm not trying to be rude or nothing, but you sound like the guy I talked to. And he's like, oh, is it the Indian accent? And I'm like, man, I felt bad. Like, Like, I was just trying to point out, like, you're trying to say it wasn't you, but it was you, dude. And, like, so then he got me feeling bad instantly, and he laughed. He was like, yes, sir, yes, sir. I'm like, oh my God. He was kind of cool. And he was, like, trying to tell me he was going to give me my money back. I was like, I don't want my money back. I paid my bill. I don't want nothing. Look, do me a favor. Right above my name, put a little star that says, this guy don't want nothing. Skip his name when you're giving out stuff. He don't want nothing. So, apparently they didn't do that because they're still calling me. So. I've been climbing almost 15 years now. Yeah, I mean, DRT, okay. Let's see, how long I've been climbing. The first time I climbed a tree, I think my brother's first time, he's 3 years younger than me. And I bet his first time climbing a tree, he was probably 12. I would say mine would have been like 14. I'm sure I probably got to try it before him. No, he probably tried it right after me. He had that little brother syndrome where, like, I would break down the barrier as far as getting to do things, and he would just ride my coattail and be able to do it, which is cool. You know, if you're the little brother, I dig it for him. But yeah, he did about 12, so I would say maybe I was 15, 39 now, so that's like 24 years. 24 years? Yeah. A little bit of time. And, like, I knew a lot about climbing trees and stuff, like all the gear and everything about it from a much younger age because I watched it, but yeah. It took a long time before I started feeling the effects of how the wear and tear on my body from it, though. So, Monkey Man, that's the way to be, man. I'm the same way. Um, I've torn my body apart. I'm the type of guy who I go through life and I've like when it's all said and done, I know I burnt the wick at both ends the whole time. It won't be a shock to me. I've destroyed my body. I've put it through the ringer. I've I've made a lot of decisions I shouldn't have made. But I made a decision. I'll deal with it. That's life. Like sometimes I feel like maybe I made other decisions because I knew it was the decision everyone else wouldn't have made. And I don't want to be everybody else. So like I'm me. So like that's life, man. Pain and a bit of suffering is reality. So especially in this game. Zigzag Plus with your cane is my go-to every day. Right on. What's up, Jeffrey? Not midline about only big downfall. Yeah, that's what I'd say. That's probably about it. I pay monthly for insurance certificate though. Oh, bro. Hey, Peter, did you go eat? What'd you have? We want to know, Pete. You can't be eating and talking about food on this live feed. Now you gotta tell us what you had, because now we're all hungry. 45.5 here. I'm beat to hell. I would not be in the canopy if I didn't learn SRT. Yeah, I think that same thing, man. Like the weird, stupid movements that I used to have to do with SRT, like these, like I don't know, like there's just things that I don't do anymore, and like I would do big, massive climbs, and then expect to be hurting worse when it was all said and done. I'm like, well, that at first way more sore. You're learning something. You're using muscles that you've never used before. That you're probably clenched up and so tense at all times because you don't have a trust built up, and like you're not as dependent on that technique yet because you haven't used it. So like you're extremely tense and it wears your muscles out really quick, and that comes with learning. and like testing things out and doing something new. But after you get the technique, you understand the technique, and you can properly use the technique, then I say make a decision. But I see a lot of guys who are like, oh, that's easier. I'm DRT. I'll do that. I'll try it. And they try it about this much. And they're like, it was hard. Like I couldn't walk up a rope or did. I didn't do none of it first try either. Like I didn't get any of that first try. It was hard at first. But then I started, oh, I'm fighting myself. So instead of being way back here with the rope, I want the rope up here and I want to climb that rope and do, and stay really straight because everything passes up the rope better. Um, I'm trying to take big, huge steps because I think that's how guys get up in the tree really fast. Turns out, little bitty steps work 10 times better. Like, it all takes learning and having the patience to learn it. Have that knowledge, whether you use it or not. I would say that a very it's a very good thing to learn. And if you don't use it, you have it though. And you could if you needed to. Mine, it's live, so you just scan the QR code and it shows it's still valid. That's cool. Give you 202,000 a month or 2,100. Oh, that's not cheap now. Workman's comp is ridiculous. My liability is about 1,500 a year. This SRT up. If I don't use my body, I lose it. 100%, man. I'm that type of person. Like if you stop moving, like I feel like my body will freeze up, and I'll be like the Tin Man stuck out there with no oil. Jason, what's going on, buddy? Jason Sayre. Man, I'm probably saying sorry for even attempting to say your last name. Hey, Jason. If you get the Petzl Flow rope, it has a tighter splice and fits through the zigzag. You don't need to feed all your rope through. I'd like to see that. I would like to see that. I wouldn't trust an eye that can compact down and be small enough to fit through the zigzag, but then still work, because that's like the whole point. Like I gotta see that. I need to see that. I've never heard anything like that, because the end of a rope when it has a sewn eye is always much fatter. So like if you look here, let's see. We got the end of the rope here. So you have this end of the rope, which isn't too big. Oh, where's that sewn eye? There it is. Now, if you notice though, especially if you put them side by side, see the difference in diameter between the two ropes? Much fatter, and the further it gets up here, the fatter it gets. So like, this should always be bigger. So if the zigzag, if that was able to pass through the zigzag, I wouldn't trust that the zigzag's going to bite down on this. So that's a weird one. And also with the Petzl Flow, I've heard more bad things. Like, I'm just giving what I've heard because I've never tried it. I have heard way more bad things about that rope than I have heard good. I've heard a lot of guys that were very upset with spending the money and buying it, and that it didn't work. They didn't like it, So I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird one though. I'm gonna check into that because I'm. It doesn't make any sense how they can make a spliced eye that could go through the zigzag, but still actually bite the rope enough to hold you. I'm gonna check that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, workman's comp is quite the hustle, isn't it? Well, that. Not the That's how I do it. SRT and work the most of the time. DRT, I just use it. SRT, limb walking, SRT. I don't even used to it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, limb walking, I would SRT a limb walk anytime over DRT because I'm able to capture all my progress at all times instead of having to move so much rope. Like maybe I'll progress a foot down that limb. Well, now I gotta move 2 foot of rope to go that foot, and I'm like, when it's DRT, when it's SRT, 1 foot. Then I can also a trick if you're having the limb walk is to take and you're tied in here, set a hand ascender, and put a carabiner on the hand ascender. Take the end of your rope, pass it through that carabiner, and then start to extend out, and you keep the end of the rope with you. So then you get all the way to where you need to go, and you have your rope coming from the hand ascender to your climbing device. Then it goes up under the climbing device and back to the carabiner on the hand ascender. So now you have that bottom rope. So when you're going back, it's a 3-to-1 advantage. And you can grab that bottom rope and just chin your slack all the way back in. Also gives you additional rope to kind of stabilize yourself and stuff like that. So yeah, there's tricks to it, man. SRT can really be nice on limb walks. That's one thing I really got into doing it for, was for limb walks. And the fact, like with DRT, you can't just throw it up to a crotch. Like say you need to get way out here on this limb, you can go up here to this limb and throw your system up through or put a redirect and go down onto the limb walk. Where with DRT, if you was to go up across and through a crotch and you're trying to keep your rope moving, sometimes it becomes so much friction it doesn't even really work. So I get it in, but I need to have it in order to work. So that's right. On isn't exactly my man. My adrenaline spice is the same way. Peter, the same way as the all gear, or the same way as the that Petzl that we were talking about? Because that Petzl thing, like, that's got me puzzled. It's funny how many guys I've worked for who are certified but don't know how to do true work in the real world. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that really turned me off of it. Is like I would see, just like, you see a guy and his wife, just a stay-at-home, and it's not what we do right now. That's why I say it's probably a later on thing for me to become certified as an arborist, but it's not something I would do now. That's why you see guys that are like good tree climbers and this and that, or they're working a company or something, and their wife becomes a certified arborist because she has all this time to go take these classes, learn this stuff, but she was able to do all this with no knowledge of actually doing the job. A lot of these, to be certified, you have to have so many years experience, and you have to have like somebody to say that you worked for them. But a lot of these guys are lying. Yeah, my wife's been with me since, and they give this the approval that they have the experience when they don't, and they're able to just cheat the system there as long as you pay the money and buy the books and answer the right questions. They'll give you your certificate. Even though 90% of the time I see and I hear about lies being told on the experience part. So I do think a lot of them require you to have experience of at least 3 years or something. 2 to 3 years. And it's been a while since I've checked up on it. It may be different. Oh, I didn't even see Clint was here. What's up, Clint? I probably read your comment. I just didn't look at the name. If you keep your company small and you circle big, it isn't a problem. I get a 1,500 goats policy that only covers the homeowner and whoever I work for. I worked with a new company today, and they had a lot of gear and were good with saws, but didn't know a single. Yeah, it's wild. You know, you'll get with some of them that just you could see. Some people are absolutely 100% content with knowing the basics because the basics will get the job done and will get them paid. So there's a difference. There's those guys that love what they do and they take honor in what they do. Those are the guys that are probably pushing it a little further. There's other guys that do it because that's how they make a living. So there's different groups as far as that goes. I didn't know adrenaline was tight enough either. Good to know. Yeah, I think adrenaline's probably good for everything. I had the same for 700 deer. Turned roofer Clint for a few days. That's funny. Well, I started with Blake's, humping my way up a tree. Other than that, I won't last. Yeah, yeah, that's hard, man. That's hard. Listen, I'm not sure, but it's tight. I'm in Atlanta area, Gregory. Pain is weakness, leaving the body. Yeah, it's just pain's a reminder that you're alive. That's what that is. That's a hey, your brain's going 90 miles an hour. You're thinking 1,000 different. Hey, just a heads up. Just wanted to let you know you're alive. That's why that hurts, and that's how I look at it. I work for companies that have all kinds of equipment, but it's scary how little they know. Oh, yeah, yeah. I got to run into actually one of you guys. I met Shad McPherson. Actually, it was yesterday. Like, it was funny. Like, I was doing a tree for my brother, and I see this guy come rolling up on a bike, and he's got this big old grin on. He's like locked eyes with me, and I'm like, I'm not from here. Like, I'm way away. I'm like an hour or so from home, maybe an hour and a half. I'm like, oh, what the hell? And he's like locked eyes with me. He's coming at me. I'm like, what's up? What's this guy doing? Like, there's some bars around there. I'm like, is this guy like drunk or what's the? He just beelined right at me, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And he's like, hey, oh, you don't know me, but I know you. And I'm like, what? He's like, I watch your YouTube videos. I'm like, oh my god. Oh, okay, man. Right on. And I was just telling the homeowner about my videos and stuff. And he laughed. He's like, oh my goodness. And he kind of walked off. But yeah, it was cool to meet Shad. He seemed like a pretty good guy. Um, I was stoked to hear that I've influenced his career, and what he does. Like, that's humbling. Very, very humbling to hear that I've influenced you and like helped and was able to steer you in some certain directions and like I don't look at myself. I don't care what happens. Like, I'm not gonna look at myself as something special. And like, sometimes I honestly feel like you guys feel like I'm more than I am. I'm a simple country dude who just like I said a million times, I have a daughter. She don't want nothing to do with this. I could keep all this stuff to myself, be the introvert that I am, not put out content. I'll continue to progress. That's just how my brain works. Like, I can't ever settle with one thing when it comes to like work tasks. So like, but I can't. I don't have anybody to pass my knowledge on to or give my knowledge to. So like, that was originally one of the reasons where it's like, just maybe you help somebody, and I enjoy making videos. So yeah, that's just me though. Like, it was cool to meet one of you guys. I always get a kick out of that. I don't get to see a lot of you guys, and anytime I do get to meet somebody, um, know that I'm in a very introverted person. I'm not the most personal. I'm most outgoing. So like, I'm probably if we meet just randomly, I'm like, I'm not Mr. Smooth or nothing. Like, I'm awkward. That's me. I stick in my own circle. I'm in my own bubble, and I stick to myself. But yeah, it was really cool to meet Chad. So I kind of want to give him a shout out. I also want to give one to Michael. Thanks for everything with the heads up. There's 29 people here right now. There will be, I'll do this announcement one more time before I get off here. There is going to be a 1 year long discount with Gap Arborists. I discussed this at the beginning of the video, but Gap Arbor Supply is going to give anybody who signs up at an allotted time, I'll give the announcement when the exact time and date is, but if you sign up with them, they will give you a commercial account for 1 year, which consists of 15% off anything that you want for an entire year. So no entering discount codes all year long. If you're somebody who orders gear and stuff like that, like, this is definitely worth it. Maybe hit the subscribe button. If you don't want to subscribe, so be it. I understand. Make your own decisions. But keep up with the channel. Peek in. It's going to be really hard for you to find out when the time is, because this is only going to be for a short period of time that this will be available. A couple hours. So, yeah. I'm going to end this, guys. You guys are amazing, as always. Once again, if I entertain you, if you get anything from this channel, and you continuously watch my videos, and you don't subscribe, that's okay. But I would like for you to hit the subscribe button, because it helps me. And like, you don't ever have to give anything. You don't ever have to comment. You don't even have to hit the thumb button. Like, if you hit the subscribe button, I'll give you you get out of jail free on everything else. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to give me nothing. There's no subscription, money wise. There's no, you got to do this step. All my stuff's on here. It's free to you. Anytime you want it, I'll answer any questions you have. But if you watch my stuff more than once or twice, maybe hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And YouTube will show me appreciation for that. So, we'll see how that goes. Guys, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know if all of you or any of you have seen. This is what I got with the... I wanted to show you this before I got off here. Check out the new rope wrenches. So, I can't see what I have on the camera there. Yeah. Okay, there's the wrench setup. Now they have the slack tending hole in the middle. Very smart. I like that. Used to be down here, but then it would get everything would be bunched up. But yeah, I like the slack hole there. Notice the wrench. What is going on there? Oh, and there's another hole for another attachment point for an anchor there. So, I wonder if you could use this DRT, a wrench DRT, if you hooked in right there. I don't know. But yeah, there's the new wrench setup by ISC. Really digging it. Yeah, this is sent to me from Gap. Here, there's their information. There is all the info for Gap Arbor Supply. So, if you want to know, or you want to call them, now you have all the info. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for giving this silly hillbilly your time again. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. The next video that comes out, don't do this. But I'm going to do it. So if you want to do it, you can do it. But I'm saying don't do it, because Fiore told me don't do it, but when he told me don't do it, I already did it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it out. Stay safe. I'll catch you next time. Have a good week.